Dear students, today in this video I am going to begin with third chapter in economics. Name of chapter is demand. First of all, let's have a look at meaning of demand. Demand is the quantity of a commodity which a buyer desires, is able and willing to buy at a given price at a given point of time. That means demand is that quantity of commodity which a buyer wishes to buy, he wants to buy. Also, he possesses the ability to buy those commodity, as well as he is willing to buy those commodity at a particular price at a particular point of time. That means demand is determined by 5 factors. Those are desire, willingness to buy, ability to buy at a particular price and at a particular point of time. Now, talking about factors affecting demand, what are also known to be the determinants of demand. So the determinants of demand can be classified as first, that is price of commodity or service, and second, those are factors other than price, what are also known to be other determinants. Now, first of all, let us discuss about how price of a commodity or service affects the demand. So, price is considered to be the most important determinant of demand. Why? Because when price of a good falls, then a consumer will buy more. That means at decreasing prices, a consumer may increase the demand. So we may say that demand expands. And similarly, when price rises, a consumer will buy less at higher prices. That means a consumer would demand less and therefore demand contracts. So here we may say that there is an inverse relationship between price as well as the demand of any commodity, because when one thing starts rising, the other starts falling, and similarly when one starts falling, the other starts rising. Now let us discuss about some other determinants of demand. So first one in that is taste and preference of a consumer. Demand definitely depends upon taste and preference of a consumer. That means it is associated with the likes and dislikes of a person, and this likes and dislikes or preference of a consumer may change with the changing times. Say for example, at a young age, a person would prefer to read storybooks, just like a small kid would definitely love to read storybooks or some comic books. At adolescence, a person may prefer to read novels, and in the old age, a person may prefer to read spiritual books, just like books related to some religion, maybe Gita, maybe Quran, maybe Bible, and so on. So, as per the age, the preference of a person may change, and accordingly the demand may change. Next determinant is income of a consumer. The demand for a commodity would increase with an increase in income of a consumer, and similarly when income of a consumer falls, then her or his demand for a good also falls. That means here we may say that there is a direct relationship between income of a consumer and demand made by that consumer. Why? Because when income rises, demand also rises, and when income falls, de- demand also falls. However, there are also some goods which are known to be inferior goods, and these goods are an exception to this direct relationship between income and demand. Why? Because in case of inferior goods, with an increase in income of a consumer, the demand for these goods starts decreasing instead of increasing. Now, talking about the next determinant, that is price of related goods. Normally, related goods may be substitute goods or it may be complementary goods. So, now how these affect demand? First of all, let us discuss about price of substitute goods. Substitute. Those persons who are mainly associated with sports would definitely know about meaning of substitute. Substitute means a replacement, one in place of another. So, substitute goods are also those goods which can be easily used in place of one another. They possess same or similar characteristics and therefore can be used alternatively in order to satisfy a want. So, we may say that these are those goods which severely compete with one another. Say, for example, very closely competing brands of television, or maybe motorcycles, or maybe refrigerators, which can be used as a substitute to one another. Also, say, for example, two brands of mobile phones. Let's take an example of Vivo and Oppo. Both are a substitute of one another. If a person who does not want to buy Oppo may buy Vivo, or who does not want to buy Vivo may opt for buying Oppo. Here in this case, if price of substitute good falls, then the consumer may replace his current brand with substitute brand, because now it has become cheaper. Let's take another example, and I may say that one of the best example of substitute goods is tea and coffee. Generally, a person may be fond of drinking tea or drinking coffee. So, if a person who is drinking tea, but when price of coffee falls, so a person may now reduce his demand for tea and may prefer to buy coffee instead of tea. So in this case, because of a fall in price of coffee, there is a reduction in demand for tea. So here we may say that demand for a good falls when price of its substitute falls. Next one is price of complementary goods. So now complementary goods are those goods which are consumed together. It means they cannot be consumed without one another, and they are to be consumed jointly in order to satisfy a need. Again, some example for this may be mobile phone and SIM card, fan and electricity, and so on. Here, if price of a complementary good rises, then the demand for the original good falls, and vice versa. Why? Because these goods are to be consumed jointly, and therefore price rise in even one of these goods makes the joint consumption expensive, and therefore the consumer demands less of both. Say for example, the price of petrol and the cars running on petrol, these are complementary goods. So as the price of petrol starts increasing, so now because petrol consumption of petrol is expensive, therefore a consumer may reduce the demand for cars running on petrol and would rather demand for cars running on diesel. Why? Because diesel is cheaper as compared to petrol, and therefore a consumer would prefer to buy cars running on diesel rather than running on petrol. So here consumption of one goods will definitely depend upon the prices of its complementary goods. Talking about the next determinant is expectations about future prices. An individual's expectation regarding future prices may also affect his or her current demand for that good. That means if the consumer is expecting the price of a good to rise in future, then the demand for that good increases in the present time and vice versa. Like say for example, nowadays the price of gold is increasing day by day. So as the prices are increasing right now, and if a consumer who expect that in future the prices of gold are going to fall, so in present time the consumer would reduce the demand for gold. Why? Because the consumer is expecting that in future when prices of gold would fall, so at that time consumer would buy more of that gold instead of buying it at higher prices in present time. So here we may say that as the consumer expects the prices for a particular good may fall in future, and therefore he may reduce the demand for that good in present times. And vice versa, if the consumer is expecting that the price is going to rise in future, therefore a consumer would buy more of that commodity in the present time, because now the consumer may feel that at present time those goods or those commodities are available at a lower price. In future they would be available at a higher price, and therefore he would tend to buy them more at the existing prices. Last one is size and demographic profile of population. The size as well as demographic profile of population also impacts the total market demand for a good. When size of population is large, so market demand will be more, and similarly if the total size of population is small, so total market demand will also be less. Not only this, if a greater population belongs to a particular age group, then the demand for a certain goods in the market would be more. Say for example, in the example of taste and preference of a consumer, where we have discussed about how the preference for reading changes with the change in age, and accordingly the demand is affected. So if a larger size of population belongs to old age, then definitely the demand for spiritual books would increase, because more of that population would demand for those spiritual books. And if in case out of the total population a large population belongs to kids or belongs to young age persons, so at that time the demand for storybooks or comic books would rather increase as compared to other books. So here we may say that if the size, not only the size of population, but how is the profile of that population also affects the demand for goods. Thank you, students.